danced. Hey, I don't like how he shimmied.
That wasn't on a night he dropped 50.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was.
Let's move on, gentlemen, and focus on the other quarterback in that game. Cam Newton is the first player in NFL history to lead his team to a 7-0 start while passing for a TD and rushing for 20 yards in every game. We are less than halfway through the season, but Cam is certainly in the MVP conversation. Here are the other names circulating: Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Andy Dalton, and Carson Palmer. Stephen A., where would you put Cam in the MVP conversation right now?
Number 2 behind Tom Brady.
Really?
Aaron Rodgers is not ahead of him. Andy Dalton is not ahead of him. Only Tom Brady, who has looked nothing short of spectacular this season. Cam Newton, one could argue, is doing more with less, and I think that was validated last night when we saw Ted Ginn drop a wide-open touchdown pass that would have ended the game. Lord, you talk about a dude that's lucky they didn't lose that game. It would have been very difficult for him to walk back in that locker room after dropping that pass. I mean, catch the damn ball, okay? That's number 1. When you look at it, Greg Olson's having a really good season. Very, very impressed with what I'm seeing from him. Jonathan Stewart obviously has been around for a long time, so he can do his thing. But to not have a Kelvin Benjamin, to have lost Steve Smith Sr. from a couple of years back, to have the paucity of weapons that he has available to him, but to do things the way that he does it. I mean, I'm watching Cam Newton throw balls to open receivers. They're picture-perfect throws, even though not all of them are. I'm watching him standing in the pocket under duress. I'm watching him scramble out of pocket. I'm watching him literally run over defenders. Run over him. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, he's clearly the star of the team. He talks smack, he backs it up, and he instills the kind of attitude in a team that speaks of championship aspirations. And I just look at Cam Newton, and I'm incredibly impressed with him. It's just that when you look at the kind of year that Tom Brady is having, I can't deny the fact that Tom Brady is easily the leading candidate for league MVP honors, but Cam Newton would be second on that list because there is no reason on God's green earth why the Carolina Panthers should be 7-0, but they are, and marching towards the road to the Super Bowl, coming through Charlotte, North Carolina, one of my favorite cities. So, I mean, it is special to see what's going on right now, and it's undeniable that that defense, obviously that defense is big time. Norman and those boys, I mean, good Lord. He put forth a spectacular performance last night as far as I'm concerned as well. Josh Norman is one of the best corners in the game. This brother's special, okay? But, and Kuechly is who he is, and Davis and those boys. But this defense is obviously getting it done. But you're winning these games also because of Cam Newton. If it were not for Cam Newton, they wouldn't be 7-0. It's a miracle considering what he's working with, to be quite honest with you.
I completely agree with everything you just said. I also have Cam second, but it's unfair to say Cam is second to a guy who's in another league right now, and Tom Brady. He's in another galaxy. It's like he doesn't belong in this conversation. So I'm going to boil it down to this. Cam is the MVP of the NFC right now. Is that fair to say?
Okay.
Over Carson Palmer, Aaron Rodgers, whose QBRs, again, scaled 0 to 100, are almost double what Cam's is right now. Cam's at 47. Carson Palmer leads the NFL at 85, and your man Aaron Rodgers is at 80. So Cam's at 47, and I'm saying he's having a better year than those two other quarterbacks whose teams are, you know, Arizona 6-2. Obviously, Green Bay has now fallen to 6-1. Listen, the degree of difficulty of what Cam is pulling off with these Panthers puts him way at the top of my NFC list. Let's forget about Tom Brady. But when you're throwing mostly to Greg Olson, who had another big catch last night for a touchdown.
Yeah, one-handed one, too.
It was beautiful. He's made many big catches. But when your second-best receiver is a guy in Ted Ginn, who's second in the NFL in drop passes, and that's among receivers with 25 or more targets thrown at them, okay? So my point is that what are you throwing to? We know he lost Kelvin Benjamin, but it's kind of usually Greg Olson or bust, and then you point out Ted Ginn dropped the game, and they were so fortunate to pull the game out, mostly because of Cam. And what does he do? He leads quarterbacks in rush yards per game. And how does he run the ball? That's what I want to talk about, is the how he runs the ball. Have you ever seen a quarterback run it like this? Like, it's not Russell Wilson, I'm going to run the spread option, or I'm going to escape and shoot over there and slide. He just runs
over.
He's running power like wing T, old school football. He's
by the way, blocking when some of his running backs are running.
He does. He's
doing it all.
Is it fair to say he's the beast mode of quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what he does?
Yeah.
And again, my instincts, every time he takes off running like the single wing power, off tackle blast, I think, what are you doing? And then he runs through people and he jumps right up, and it doesn't seem to bother him. It's like he's built to do what he's doing. Now, is this going to shorten his career? I don't know.
He doesn't need to be doing this so much. I don't like how they call running plays.
Well, they do.
They do call running plays.
Power
I don't like that.
Like behind the fullback.
I really don't like that.
Yeah, man. But my point is, it works, and it doesn't seem to bother him very much. Now, he does get, in years past, he's been nicked, and he's had ankles and bruises and bumps, but he has not been seriously hurt. And you got to give him credit for doing so much with so little to have this team at 7-0 undefeated. So I'm here to honor him. I was very impressed with the way he played and kept his team together last night. We know their defense is really good, but is it great? Is it great? It's 10th in points allowed.
Top 4 in a bunch of categories.
It's not great because they're ranked 20th against the run.
Yeah.
You can run the football on them to some degree. Offensively speaking, they've got the 4th ranked offense in Carolina because they've got the #1 rushing attack. They're like 3rd worst, 29th overall in passing, primarily because Ted Ginn Jr. can't catch passes, for crying out loud.
Yep.
I mean, he's dropping passes just entirely too much, and he needs to get it together. But with that being said, also remember that one of the reasons they have an elite rushing attack is because of Cam Newton running the football.
They do.
He averages about.
And by the way, they're #1 in rushing in the NFL.
That's what I said. They're #1 rushing, and he's running about 40 yards a game for them.
40 yards a game.
So I'm just looking at them right now, and I'm like, okay, he can continue to do this. Let's look at this schedule. You got Green Bay next. You're on the road at Tennessee, who just fired Ken Whisenhunt, by the way. You got Washington. Then you got road games at Dallas and New Orleans. So it can get real interesting because it's always tough to play against NFC South foes. But what I'm seeing from him, I'm shocked. They already have as many victories as they had all of last year. It's impressive to watch. There's no doubt about that. And even though Tom Brady seems to be in another stratosphere because of how he's playing, you have to consider what Cam Newton is working with, and that's why he belongs in the conversation.
And despite the low QBR, remember, he did make their throw of the year at Seattle to beat Seattle at home to Greg Olsen. So I give him that. You talk about clutch. Yeah. That was clutch.
He's doing so much with so little, and especially in the 4th quarter as well. But still a distant second to Tom Brady, but we give him the #1 MVP vote in the NFC. Moving on, Vernon Davis is trading in his red and gold for orange and blue. The Pro Bowl tight end is now a Bronco. Did Denver just upgrade? We'll tell you next.